So it seems to me that women somehow exit the womb with the ability to fold a fitted sheet. And then once they're grown, they make a tutorial about it that goes, hey, remember that thing you inherently know in your bones? Just do that. Whoop, 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 whoop. Fold the fitted sheet just like that. Remember? That's so, as a man, without this inherent ability, I've seen some of these tutorials. I've struggled to wrap my brain around what the heck is going on. But eventually, I figured out how to fold a fitted sheet. I had to reverse engineer a fitted sheet that was already folded. And I came up with a theory of the root of the contention between the way that men and women fold things. So here it is. So we're going to reverse engineer this, right? Okay, so this is a fitted sheet and a flat sheet. This is a twin size, I believe. Your mileage may vary on other sizes, okay? So we've got 4 folds. All right, so this is a fitted sheet. See how nice and square we've got it. But how do we get there? So we're going to take it apart into thirds. Okay, thirds, funny. Why thirds? Why not halves? We'll get there. Again, thirds. So the way that this works, we seemed to make a square when we put all of the scrunchies together, okay? So we've got all these springy guys, and we fold it in a way that makes them on the inside so that the rest of this shape can be a square, okay? Or a rectangle, whatever. How did we get there? This is the weird part that women seem to know inherently, okay? See how this fold? This is inside of the other one, okay? So these are the corners, and these corners fold inside. And then you flip it inside out. Like, see this in here? There's like, it's the springers, it's folded like that, okay? And then that's what makes our square. So if we separate these, we'll go back a step. Okay, so this is the sheet the long way, folded in half, but the corners are put inside. Okay, so this is a corner, and this is the other corner. See, the fabrics are different. This is the inside of the sheet. This is the outside of the sheet. And they go zoop, outside of the sheet to the inside of the sheet. And then if you put your hands in the corners and give it a zhuzh, okay? And then, let me go back. We'll go back a little further, okay? So first we find our corners. All right, first we find our corners. So this is a twin, so we find the corners of the short side, right? So these corners are really far apart. These corners are close together. Find the corners of the short side, all right? We're gonna lay it out. We're gonna find the corners of the other side. And now our inclination as men is to go like this, right? And put all the springers together. But what we gotta do is, see how this is softer and this is shinier? This flips inside out. You got the corner of the seam, it goes underneath, all right? Corner of the seam goes underneath. And then my hands are inside here. So there's a third dimension to our folding, okay? And then this loosely makes a rectangle, but that's not good enough. We gotta do one more, okay? Because even then, inclination, no. Ugly, terrible, how could you? So now we gotta do one more inside, outside, all right? So this now wants to flip, and then that is gonna tuck underneath, okay? And then now this is precarious, but we have to flip it inside, tuck the whatever inside, okay? And then see how this is we're roughly back to a square, rectangle. The springers are contained, and then from there, and you can, This doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to get 80% of the way there. So if you want to practice and get this airtight for peak impressing, go ahead. But so this is thirds again. Okay, wow, that actually turned out pretty nice. All right. And then we'll go thirds again. Okay. And then this will be inside here. Boom, boom, boom. My theory on laundry preferences. Why towels get folded. Why do things get folded in thirds instead of halves? All right. So we're going to leave this piece that was in thirds. I'm going to show you how this thing is folded, okay? So this is in half the long way by itself, okay? So I grab it in the middle somewhere. Sorry that I can't show this better. We get the corners judged to line up. This is where we all start, right? Okay, I'll just take the long way in half first. We'll give it one of these chin tricks, all right? And then I'm gonna lay it down on this table. And this one does go in halves, right? So you do 1/2, then we go in half, and then we go in half again. Okay, so once it's in half the long way, we half it again. We'll lay it out, half it again, half it again. And we've got this nice rectangle, okay? And then this, so this thing's in thirds, all sorts of funny. And then we go roll it 4-ish in here. Tighter if you tuck it a little bit, okay? And what this does, and I don't think that women are trying to work harder, but I do think what they're aiming at is this ratio. This is probably like a 9:16, like an iPad or a laptop screen, right? They don't want square halves. You see how unsatisfactory this is? I don't know. It takes up too much space on a shelf. Somehow it's too square. I don't know. But when you take it into thirds, and this is true with towels as well, when you take it into thirds, the ratio is somehow better. I don't know. I don't think it's about doing more folds. I think it's about the ratio. That's all I'm trying to say. If you're wondering why your wife doesn't like the way you fold things, it might have to do with the end product ratio and the perceived shelf fitment. Boom, now you know how to fold a fitted sheet. Don't show your wife this video. While I may not know what I'm doing, I do know that I'm doing it. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe and let me know what you'd like to see more of. Thanks for watching.